Greetings, my name's EDDBUD and welcome back once again to my channel. If you're new here, this channel specialises in running shoe and gear reviews. Today I've got an update on my half marathon training in preparation for the Immortal Sport Salisbury Half Marathon. I'm amazed to see the channel's just creeping up now towards 600 subscribers. I'm really appreciative of all of you who have subscribed so far. I'm also really pleased to hear from some of the younger viewers. Apparently my content is lit. That means it's on fire. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I do recall that Run DMC did once have a track that stated that something could in fact be called bad, but in fact be good. So I'm very open to these newfangled kind of ideas. Anyway, let's get back on track with a rundown of my recent training activities. You know, if there's an easy day, I'm going to be going for these beacons. I've got the Pegasus 36, but I've got to say guys, I think that this actually beats the 36. I wish I'd found out about this shoe sometime before. I really do enjoy running in it. So Monday saw a nice easy session, 3 miles, 5 kilometers at a nice 8 minute per mile sustainable speed. It was really palatable actually going at that pace, considering the session that I had the day before. The legs were a little bit worn out, and in fairness it was easy miles, but they didn't feel that easy. So in an attempt to ease the strain on the legs and the knees a little bit, to reduce the impact, I took to a local recreation ground. It tends to be used for sports, football, rugby, stuff like that. So it's kind of flat, not too many bumps, not too many divots, holes, things like that. Nice and flat surface. I just wanted to try and ease the impact a little bit. A bit of a two-edged sword really going to the playing field. It was quite windy out there. It's a very open space, and beautiful, huge open space. I used to go there a lot when I was a kid. Really enjoyed it. It kind of brings back some memories as well of kicking a football around, listening to the radio for the football scores to come in on a Saturday afternoon, that kind of stuff. Doesn't seem that long ago. What happened, you know? 20 years. Where did it go? Anyone know where my 20 years went? Anybody know? Anybody know? But even with a bit of a headwind here and there, managed to keep up a nice steady pace around about 8 minutes per mile. I hadn't run on grass in some time actually, so it was quite a welcome break on the legs, on the knees certainly, running around on that grass. Kind of spongy, nice and cushioned, and the beacons felt really good. They handled the grass really well actually, considering that the traction's really not made for that in any way, but did work out quite well. Shout out to Elspeth. I'm glad that the beacons have worked out for you. She managed to pick up a pair of these for a really great price, same as me, so I really hope they serve you well. I've had to employ some spray adhesive to the bottom of the insole on the right shoe. This one? Right? Yeah. The right shoe. On this one to ensure that that insole doesn't slip out. It's kind of slipping this way out of the shoe and it's kind of bothering me a little bit. So the famous Dale Fender got his paintbrush out, painted a little bit of adhesive on there, carefully put it back in the shoe, and now it's not going anywhere. I just hope I've put it in the right place. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. So moving on to Tuesday, and a lovely interval session was on the cards. So speed bike training tonight, 10 by 400 meters with 200 meters recovery in between to the 5k pace. So let's see how we get on. So not bad effort up to now, just on the 5th repetition, so 5 to go. I've managed to hit each one on pretty much 5k pace. The next one's going up right now. So that's all 10 reps completed. I think I was pretty much on point on most of them. Maybe 1 or 2 I was a little over, but all around about 4 minutes per kilometre pace, so pretty pleased with that. It was definitely the right time to go out. It's nice and cool now, perfect conditions for me really. Pegasus Turbo 2 has been really great. If you watched the video from yesterday, I spent quite a bit of time thinking about which of the shoes to wear, and they really work well for that interval stuff today. Okay, let's get back and have some food. Gotta be honest, it's the summer, really enjoying kind of just chilling out, resting up, enjoying some time with my daughter, playing some video games. But I did it, did the interval session, and I did well. So it was a 10k session in total, with around about 1 mile of warm-up beforehand, and then 10 repetitions of 400 meters at 5k pace, followed by 200 meter recoveries. So 5k pace for me is round about 4 minutes per kilometre. That equates to about 6 minutes 30 seconds per mile. I kept the warm up to bang on about 8 minutes per mile, same as the previous day when I was doing my easy miles. So only a couple of the repetitions were a bit off of my 5k pace. I got chased by a dog at one point, which kind of was again a two-edged sword. I kind of had to run very fast because the dog seemed to be taking an interest in me. I'm sure he was a nice dog. When you kind of run along and a dog starts chasing you that's, you know, very large, you speed up a little bit. And then I had to navigate a few young children that were roving around on a scooter and on a bike. When they see you, it's almost like they steer into you. So I managed to navigate around them and all was good. So I specifically chose the route I went on because it was mainly straight, mainly flat. There was very few bends, very few turns or obstacles that I had to navigate, which is kind of ideal really when you're doing that type of session. So those repetitions or intervals or whatever you want to call them lasted around about 1 minute 40 seconds in duration, followed by a minute or so of recovery. So those Pegasus Turbo 2s, the laces are flapping around. The Pegasus Turbo 2s worked really well for me for that interval session. If you'd watched my video the previous day, I talked a little bit about utilising these for intervals, or maybe I could use the Zoom Flies or the other ridiculous number of shoes that I've got on the go in the rotation at the moment. These felt really good at great speed. I didn't have any problems really getting up to that 4 minutes per kilometre pace. It was really quite exhilarating, in fact. I really enjoyed it. Cadence was good, and I know some people in the comments haven't been enjoying this shoe. I think this is a real winner, and I do prefer it over the version 1. It doesn't feel as jarring on the legs when you're kind of slowing up as it would do in the Zoomfly 3. And that's a very rigid shoe, a very dense shoe. This one just felt really light on foot, and I'm certainly enjoying running in this at the moment. I will be doing a 100-mile review of this shoe. When I hit it, I'm probably going to hit that in the next couple of weeks, so do watch out for that. So I took it nice and easy at the end of the session. I think I had about 2.4 kilometers of warm down, and this one worked again really well. It was nice just to coast back in, nice leisurely pace after a really hard workout. Moving on to Wednesday, I had a session in the plan for about 7 miles at a steady pace of 7 minutes 30 seconds per mile. Miles, about 3.1 kilometers in, heading out towards Livington, I believe. I've never been there. We'll soon find out what it's like. Feeling pretty good. Using a Hoka Carbon X today, giving them a run out, a bit more of a test for them, so I'll see how they get on. Let's get back to it. So, managed it. 7 miles. I'm not entirely sure what the average was. I think about 4 minutes 45 per kilometre, which isn't too bad. It's not too shabby, but I'm definitely not running up this hill. It's just not happening. So I'm certainly trying to run it like a race, really, like a road race. And it's kind of hard when you've not got other people around you. I know Kev commented the other day when I was doing a time trial that he thought I'd done really well in terms of the time. And I think I did pretty good, but it's hard when there's no one else around. Yeah, I'm definitely glad that I didn't decide to run up this one. It just goes on and on and on. Maybe when I need to do some hill repeats or something, I'll come here. So, how did the Hokas hold up? Well, I'm really impressed. That's the first time I've really pushed them hard. I'll tell you what, they're actually quite beneficial going up this hill. They're getting up onto my forefoot a little bit, and it's certainly rocking me up the hill. Wasn't really anticipating that attribute from them. Hey Pigeon. There's a route that I've been really interested to go on. As you know, I live out kind of in the country. I'm in the town, but we're a kind of market town with loads of country roads to explore, which are really quiet. And there's lots of kind of lovely straight long sections that can be utilised for steady miles, such as the session today. So I did select this route. I was unfamiliar with it. I haven't used it before, so I was inexperienced with it, but it turned out to be a real winner. Opted for the Hoka Oni Carbon X. Yeah, I don't know why. Something called me to this shoe for this run, and it turned out really well. It was nice giving them a further test. I certainly managed to keep up that pace without too many issues. They did help me along a little bit. Again, a rigid shoe, but I'm really enjoying the very responsive cushioning in this shoe, and it's incredibly light. Just felt, I didn't really feel the upper while I was running in it. It just kind of disappears. It wasn't a struggle keeping up that 7 minutes 30 seconds per mile pace. So I was really glad in that. Even towards the end of the session, I was still motoring on without too much issue. So I managed to absolutely nail the session goal, which was that 7 minutes 30 seconds per mile pace. Making sure to keep a little focus on my cadence, keeping that nice and high. A little bit of lean forward. I tend to slouch down a little bit as I get tired. So I've been focusing on that, trying to sort of keep up, keep limber, and keep bouncing along. Making sure to keep working on my arms, keeping that rhythmic movement, and all of those things together really are helping. So it kind of felt like a really great session. I felt really good afterwards. Target time was around about 53 minutes, so I absolutely nailed it. About 52 minutes 30 seconds, so really over the moon with this one. An interesting fact, the Carbon X seemed to do really well on hills. As I was going up some of the elevation, you can really feel that carbon plate pushing you forward up the hills. If you get up onto the forefoot, so keeping up on the forefoot, keep the cadence high, it just felt like it was pushing me up the hill. And I haven't really had that in the Vaporfly or the Zoomfly before. So a really great shoe. It's certainly a rigid shoe. It's not like the Vaporfly really in any way, apart from the fact it's got a carbon fibre plate. There's not much give, certainly when you compare it to the Vaporfly or the Pegasus Turbo 2. But it certainly does well over distance, and it felt really good at that sort of 7 minutes 30 seconds pace for me. I imagine you could push it even further than that if you've got the ability. And I feel that the terrain response as well was really good. This is obviously a shoe that's designed for road use and not really designed for kind of other types of terrain, so ideal conditions for it today. I don't know whether the stack height in this helps a little bit, but it doesn't feel like you're too far from the surface that you're running on. It certainly feels quite responsive. So quietly impressed with this shoe. Each time I wear it, I seem to enjoy it more and more. A hat-trick of really good training runs this week so far, so really pleased with the way that my training progress is going. So towards the end of the week, got some threshold stuff coming up. That's going to be a real tester. So running at the pace that I did yesterday in the session, around about 7 minutes 30 seconds per mile, but adding in some miles which are closer towards my goal half marathon pace, which is going to be that just under that 7 minutes per mile. So it's going to be a real test. Today, guys, in the comments, I'd like you to post up which of the training sessions that you're undertaking at the moment are the real testers for you. Which ones do you find really difficult? For me, it's certainly going to be those threshold runs, upping my pace, going for that goal kind of half marathon pace that I'm aiming for. They're the ones that are going to test me. So please comment below and let me know which of your training sessions are the most testing for you. Please hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Click like if you enjoyed the video. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you.